Welcome and happy 2024. I know we have a really good agenda this afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well for our first community meeting of the year. So just some ground, not rules, but just an overview of what this is and what we intend this meeting to be. So in last year, we took over this meeting from MECMIN, which runs a larger community-wide nonprofit faith and community leader meeting. And we kind of took over the reins for the East Side. And going forward this year, we definitely want to create and make this space an open forum for any organization, house of worship, nonprofit, school, or just community members, neighborhood leaders in general, to come and share news and initiatives of what's going on in the community. These meetings are recorded and will be put up onto our YouTube channel, which this year we're going to be a lot more intentional about promoting and pushing out and inviting people into this space. So thank you all for being here. First and foremost, we as Charlotte East have some pretty significant changes this year. For the past 20 years, we've run as a volunteer-only organization, and this year we are fortunate enough to be able to have staff for the first time. So 2 days ago, I took over as the organization's first executive director, which I'm very excited about. Thank you. And we've got a lot of good work to build on that we did in 2023 and 2022, and some new partnerships and areas to move forward to in the next year. So for your all knowledge, this right graphic right here is our 2024 focus areas of buckets, like how we're essentially going to define programming into community engagement, economic development, and education. These will all look a little bit different, but these are big areas for your organizations as well. If you want to be plugged into these spaces with these specific stakeholders, please let me know, because the work, we have a lot of work needs to be done, and I know as many hands as possible and as many diverse voices, I think, is actually more important, makes this work more successful for the development of our community. We do have one thing I do want to highlight for all partners and stakeholders, which is a little bit different for us this year. So typically Charlotte East has been, the defined geographic boundaries of East Charlotte is pretty vast and pretty wide. In terms of what we're considering our programmatic focus this year, and our priority focus is this geographic area. Does not mean if you're a community partner that operates outside this geographic area that we're not going to work with you and plug your resources and your community into ours. But we really wanted to take a zoom in lens of approach on the area that's the highest level of need in our community, which is defined by the boundaries of Independence, Eastway, Plaza, and W.T. Harris. So with that said, that is a little bit about us, new things for Charlotte East in 2024. Excuse me. So for the agenda for this afternoon, I have two things that I would like to bring up. And then we're hearing from a few other community partners who have some exciting news to share about things going on in the next month or so. So first and foremost, the community building initiative, in partnership with Leading on Opportunity in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library, are hosting a community symposium on February 3rd. They're still finalizing the details of how that is going to look in terms of in-person, hybrid, in the structure of the day. But the concept and the thought behind this is, hey, we often have a lot of people in think tanks and leaders that don't live in Charlotte that come into Charlotte and get paid big bucks to talk about the social issues of Charlotte. Why don't we create a space and a forum for people doing the work around to talk about what's going on in the community and how they see things through their lens? So it's a very resident oriented approach. The applications for panelists are open. They're going to be open until January 15th. I am on the panelist review board, so we'll be vetting the applications and looking through them, which are due next, excuse me, let me pull this up. next Monday. The application is very basic. It's just, what is your organization? Which topic would you like to address on the lines of affordable housing, gentrification, childcare and education access, or transportation and mobility? And really, what's a very elevator pitch for what your panel or your conversation would be about? And on that form, there's also a contact for more, detailed information, because this is really an initiative of the community building initiative, and they're the ones running point, but we're supporting getting the word out about it. Any questions on this? And I will ensure that the graphics in PNG form are shared with everyone after the meeting as well.
Greg, did you say what the hours are for it?
They have not determined those hours yet.
Okay.
I do not believe. Actually, let me look at the link. I do not believe the hours have been determined, and I actually just asked for clarification about an hour ago, because we don't have much more information than what I'm presenting to y'all right now. But it is, I do believe February 3rd is on a Saturday. Let me triple check. Yes, it is on a Saturday. So once I get that, I'll make sure to send it to everyone. There have been I looked this morning, there have been about 16 applications so far on a range of topics. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good, diverse panel on all three of these issues. Alrighty. Another kind of save the, I'm sorry, I don't know why this graphic is acting this way. Well, another initiative that will be coming up on February 5th is Charlotte East, in partnership with United Way and Dream Key Partners, is renewing the utility assistance program that we had last year. So what we did is decided to put aside a bucket of funds through the United Way to earmark for anybody living in 28215, 28205, and 28212 who needed assistance with gas, electric, or water. And we did decide that we wanted to make the annual family household income cut off a little bit higher than most programs that run through crisis assistance and that run through the county. So we decided to put it at 60% AMI. Those AMI numbers have changed, and I have updated them here. This graphic is acting a little bit wonky right now, but essentially for a family of four, anyone household income less than 59,820 would be eligible for funds. We did have to reduce the maximum award amount from 500 to 250 this year, just because we had a little bit less funds and wanted to maximize and stretch impact. When we did this program last year, we were able to support 117 households in a 5-week period. And I believe, just to kind of share the need, which I know everyone on this call is aware of the need in our community for assistance with this. The average award that was given out was, I believe it was $450, and the average requested amount was around $700. In this, we received about 150, 160 applications, and this went through in a 5 to 6 week period. So the need is very much out there. I know the county's RAMP program will be having another round of funding that's going to be coming through. Not sure when that is going to be. It's likely going to be a little bit after this period as well, but we wanted to make sure that there were funds available specifically for our folks in the community. And again, the application link is not live, and none of this is live. It won't go live until February 5th, but I wanted to put it on folks' radar because it'll be before the next time that we meet. And I guess the last thing on this too, the application, there are 2 applications and 2 flyers. One will be in English and the other will be in Spanish. So it'll be accessible both ways. Any questions on this?
What are the requirements when somebody fills out the document?
So in terms of like, what do they need to provide?
Yeah.
So we were super intentional about not requiring Social Security. It was just going to be in the need of an ID United Way needed some form of identification, so it's either an ID or a passport
Okay.
were the requirements that they needed. So it does not have to be an overdue bill. They do not have to show proof that they're necessarily behind. It could be, something that's up right now that they need help paying for, and they have to provide 3 months worth of pay stubs. Or and if they don't have pay stubs, they can provide documentation that shows that. So folks will be dealing. The application will go directly through DreamKey, but folks in need of assistance will be working directly with me who need help navigating the application, figuring out things. So I'll be the one accessible supporting them.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, on to the next item. Joan, I believe this is you. You want to take the floor?
Sure. Thank you. At Christ Church, Christ Episcopal Church, we are hosting our first, so it's going to be a learning experience, but our first partner forum. It's going to be on Thursday, January 25th from 3 to 6 p.m. and it will be at Galilee Ministries on the 3601 Central Avenue. And the idea behind it is for emerging, small, or even not so small nonprofits to be able to be in the same space and ask questions and discover providers and resources for things, whether it's grants. We give out grants, but there are certainly a lot of other sources in this community, or people who can help with board development or mentor the organization or whatever. So we'll have some resource providers there right now. Laura, I don't know if I can remember all 7 of them that are signed up, but Foundation for the Carolinas, United Way, Women's Impact Fund, and several others will be there, as well as we're going to have a few presentations from some folks who are in nonprofits that have actually been able to see that growth happen, to make their organizations grow and flourish more, have them talk a little bit about what the challenges have been and how their successes have come about. All of that in one space for people to be able to network and ask questions and gather some information about that. We'll have some refreshments. I am going to put the registration link in the chat. It is a very long link, and I apologize for that. You can also find it on our website if you go to christchurchcharlotte.org, and it's the Outreach Connect page. That's a lot, but I think that's it. Laura, would you add anything to that?
This is a free event for the
Yes.
community. We just, again, this is just coming from a place, each year when we receive grant applications, we find that more and more of our applicants seem to be brand new, which is exciting, and are lacking some things, and like working boards and just different things. And so we're trying to help provide some resources for the community to help build the community. So we'll see how it goes. And if it's successful, we'll keep doing it. So hope you all will join us or pass it on to folks that are working in the community and might find this helpful.
Does anybody have any questions here about it? Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Laura.
Actually, I'm sorry, I might have not heard this and you said it. Who are some of the agencies that are already going to be signed up to be there?
We have Foundation for the Carolinas, the Women's Impact Fund, United
Charmac Library,
Charmac Library for their nonprofit services,
Commonwealth,
Commonwealth Charlotte.
I think Social Venture Partners, or is that
yes,
still? Yeah.
Black Social Capital.
Mhm.
We've got like seven confirmed, and I think over 10 have been reached out to. So that we'll have like almost like a job fair or something. We'll have tables set up where people can go and talk with them, exchange information, learn about what they do to help. But then also they will be giving small presentations to the group. So it's kind of just an information share.
Wonderful. No, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make sure that this link gets sent out in the follow-up. to everyone as well for the registration. Alrighty, we have some updates from the Latin American Coalition. I don't know if I saw anybody on the call from the coalition yet. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so at this point, you know what I would like to do this year is ensure that I leave about 15 minutes for every meeting, specifically earmarked for an open community forum, for anything that folks would like to share, folks would like to bring up. And it looks like, Joy, I might begin with you because you just put something in the chat. So thank you for being here.
Thanks, Greg. Hi, I'm Joy Mayo. I'm Tree Charlotte's Community Engagement Manager. Super excited to join you all. So I did put in the chat a link to a tree care event we're hosting at McClintock Middle and wanted to extend an invitation for anyone in the community who is interested in attending. Tree Charlotte is a local nonprofit that works to grow, diversify, and steward Charlotte's iconic urban forest. So we do tree plantings at schools, houses of faith, neighborhoods, kind of all over the place. And we also do tree adoptions, and we have already hosted our tree adoption for East Charlotte, but we do have, some upcoming. So please, if you aren't receiving our newsletter, always recommend that so that you can receive free trees from us as well at some of our upcoming events. That's pretty much what I had to say, Greg, but if anyone knows any organizations that is in need of 25 plus trees, that's kind of the big part of my job, recruitment for that. We've also started a Tree Resilience initiative that is neighborhood focused. So we are focusing in Quarry Heights neighborhood and the Ramblewood neighborhood. So we're in 2 historically underserved and under-canopied neighborhoods. Saying under-canopied is under 40%. So we're doing a holistic approach. We'll be in the neighborhoods for 3 years. We're doing tree plantings in people's front yards. We're doing tree care, and we're also doing mature tree care, which we know can be a barrier for so many people because of the expense associated with taking care of large mature trees. So just wanted to kind of put that out there for you. We are recruiting for our next group of neighborhoods for Tree Resilience. So if you know any places that are interested, I'd love to talk to them about it. I do a lot based on data, but referrals always are helpful as well.
Can I ask how far out you all are with planning for some of those larger plantings? Because I know in the past, like it's been like about a year out that you guys have had to plan for. Like, what's the soonest turnaround that you all could get to be at a site?
For an actual tree planting?
Yeah, for like
it depends. So we're actually doing one in about a month. That kind of started very fast. It wasn't something we intended to do, but we have a lot of trees in our yard, and we had a sponsor who was really interested in it, and we had already planted at a similar project with the group. So we've been partnering with Ascent. We planted at Sharemark Gardens over 100 trees, maybe about 2 months ago, and we're going to be planting at one of their latest acquisitions, Swan Run Apartments, and we're going to be planting there as well. So because we already had that relationship with them, we just did a tree planting like 2 months ago. We're hoping that it'll be super easy. So this was actually unusual. Usually it does, Greg, take us. Right now I'm working on next season, but this other one we were able to kind of expedite.
Good to know.
Yeah. I see Avery's question, are we connected with Habitat? We do work with Habitat, so we are planning on, so generally we source Habitat trees. We always have trees kind of at the end of the season, so we will give them trees to put in yards if residents are interested in having an additional tree. So usually we'll source them trees, but we're also helping with their required trees for Plato Price. So we are helping them with, I want to say 50 trees, and we're hoping to do that in March, but we're just trying to see when is the construction going to be done, because we want to be mindful of planting trees when it's appropriate, and we don't want the trees to be damaged during like moving equipment and such. Yeah. Well, I'll put my info in the chat. It's also at Tree Charlotte's website. Greg, thanks for letting me join you all, and super excited to hear about the work that you all were doing. I'm always kind of like a fangirl, kind of watching what y'all were doing, so very impressed.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And we're extremely happy that y'all are definitely more involved in the East Charlotte community. So thank y'all. All right, so I do see Nancy has hopped on the call. Nancy, sorry about that link issue. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy Apolinar. I am new to these meetings. My coworker, Diego, facilitated the link. He has made previous connections with Charlotte East, and he asked me to join today to share some of the upcoming activities that we have at the Latin American Coalition. I specifically work at the Youth Education and Opportunity Center. Here, what we necessarily focus on is the activities for our youth. This is from the ranges of 6 to early college as well. Right now, we're starting off with some activities. The first one I'd like to share is that we're starting off with a new activity called the Courage Clubs. Courage Clubs are a partnership with the Jamie Kimball Foundation, and they are usually located in a high school. We are the first location that is a community-based Courage Club, and we have tried starting it beforehand this past semester, but unfortunately, not a lot of our teens were interested in this programming. So what we started for this upcoming semester is next Wednesday, January 17th, from 6 to 7 p.m. here at the Latin American Coalition. We'll be having bilingual Courage Club meetings as well as parenting classes. So teens are able to bring along their parents for these parenting classes to strengthen their family bonds, learn together regarding various topics from teen dating violence, mental health, speaking with your parents, and overall some of the benefits for the teens are including volunteer hours. The Teens for Courage Club Foundation also has a summit for all the Courage Clubs, which will later be met at Carowinds. So there's an additional benefit to enter Carowinds. And they also have a scholarship through the Jamie Kimmel Foundation. And so participants are able to enter a chance to receive the scholarship. Additionally, overall, it's a teen-led movement. So the main impact is to inform others about teen dating violence. Sometimes it is necessarily information that is passed along between teens, but not shared among others or adults, or necessarily known about the resources that are available to them. So what we're doing here at Latin American Coalition is that this community-based club will be bilingual and also be able to bring the parents along to get more of an educational and resources available. It's a partnership not only with Jamie Kimmel Foundation, but also with CMPD and the Victims Advocate regarding domestic violence. That is the main topic, but additionally, there's going to be additional information that is going to be shared with the parents and the teens, and a lot of flexibility in regards to what the teens are interested in covering during these meetings. These are completely free to the program to our community. Like I mentioned, it'll be January 17th from 6 to 7. Greg, will I be able to share flyers to you and you can share with the rest of the team? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect if you want to do it that way. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Then I will be sending the flyers to Greg, and if Greg can help me distribute those flyers to everyone else, that is one of the activities that we have. Additionally, some other activities that we have is in collaboration with a organization called Stimulus. It's a nonprofit here led by a young female high school student. She has been working with us to bring STEAM activities to our community, as well as in bilingual and bicultural. Our next activity, these are monthly activities that we have for introductions to science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Our next activity is introduction to algorithms, overall, how complicated algorithms are, and exploring the world and language of computers introduction level. It's necessarily going to discover the differences between algorithms, coding, and how algorithms work. And it's, like I mentioned, introduction to STEM. This is next Thursday, January 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. as well. And the age range for this one would be from 8 years old to 12-year-olds. So these are activities not only necessarily bilingual, but also facilitated by a high school student. So our high school students are able to work on these, who are STEM enthusiasts and enjoy STEM, work on a workshop with our orientation called Minis to facilitate this workshop in regards to introduction to STEM. So, and then participants are about 8 to 12 years old. These are smaller activities that we're starting out here at LAC, so we can bring more activities to our youth. They're all bilingual and bicultural. And lastly, for next Tuesday, we have a Girl Scout meeting. We are Troop 03 here at the Latin American Coalition. Our girls have just received their uniforms and are now starting to sell cookies because it's cookie season. But if y'all like to share that, we also have a local Girl Scout troop here, and we're looking to bring a Boy Scout troop right here to LAC as well.
Well, y'all have a lot going on in a good way. That's a lot. That's a
Yes.
lot of awesome programming so earlier in the year. Can you put your email address in the chat? I see a couple.
Sure will. I will put my email address and my phone number. We're bringing other youth activities. These are some to start off with. Like I mentioned, it's from our Girl Scout troop at the moment is ranging from kindergarten to about 6th grade. But we can also later on turn into a multi-level Girl Scout troop. And if that's something that's interest in the community, we're always still looking into that. Like I mentioned, Boy Scouts is something that we have some interest in, haven't had a troop leader necessarily, so we're looking at that one. And then the other activities, the Courage Club is parenting classes that will be meeting once a month, and STEAM Minis will be at the moment once a month. It's facilitated by our high schoolers, and so it's also to their capabilities of when they're able to facilitate those activities. But later on, we'll also be recruiting STEM enthusiasts, high school STEM enthusiasts, or early college students who would like to facilitate these workshops. They will be able to train and necessarily work on their leading skills during this workshop. So these are some of the activities, and also are bringing up more activities here at LAC. So we're not just serving adults, but also the all-around wraparound services for families.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Nancy.
Thank you, Greg, for having me.
All right, y'all. Let me also do this. I realize I've changed our primary email address. So those of you who received this email, I mean, should have received it from this email address, but just in case you were forwarded the link, this is my my email. So please send any flyers and information if you all could by 5 o'clock today, if you can find the time, because what I would like to do is make sure that this is put up and shot out at some time this evening or early next morning. So we have about 15 more minutes allotted. So there's any organization. I know we have a really good group here today. We have a good range of nonprofits. I'm very grateful you all chose to spend this afternoon with us. Does anyone else have any initiatives or updates, or would like to introduce yourselves or your organizational mission? I'm gonna go ahead and open that floor to do so.
If it's all right, Greg, I'll introduce myself.
Go ahead, Avery.
Hi, I'm Avery Payne. Sorry. Laptop mode today. My name is Avery Payne. I'm the Greater Charlotte Branch Director and Equity and Inclusion Director for the Diaper Bank of North Carolina. For those of you that aren't familiar with us, we're a nonprofit 501c3 that distributes free diapers, period products, and adult incontinence items to families in the community that need them. Just kind of wanted to give you some updates, but also let you know about some of our resources. We opened in April of 2022 here in the Greater Charlotte area, but we've been doing the work since 2013 in other parts of the state. In 2022, we distributed 60,000 diapers. I'm happy to say that in 2023, we were able to distribute almost 400,000 diapers to the community. This is 3.6% of the need in our community that's covered by those 400,000 diapers. And so we're always looking for donations, donation drives, etc. I always give Christchurch a shout out. They're very regular donors with us. Have donated over thousands of items to us in support of our mission. But what I also wanted to just say is that our resources are openly available to the public. We serve in two ways. The main way, and the only one I'll talk about, is we have partners called Open Partners. These are organizations that provide free diapers to anybody in the community that needs them. We're partnered with Loaves and Fishes Friendship Trays, as well as Catholic Charities Diocese of Charlotte, where every week they distribute diapers to the community. And so our resource list is open and available. We're not gatekeepy at all about that kind of thing. So if you know anyone or you yourself are looking to get some diapers, you can contact me. I'll put my email in the chat, and I'll share those resources with you. And just to finish off, we know that 1 in 2 families in the United States do not have access to or cannot afford diapers. So 47% of families with little ones are struggling, are making really tough decisions about basic necessities. So with your support and, with kind of just having conversations about our work, we're going to continue to grow. So I'll shut up now. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that, definitely feel free to reach out to me. And like I said, I'll put my email in the chat. Thanks, Greg.
Are
Thank
you guys, I'm sorry, are you guys located in a specific building, or like can families go reach out to you specifically? Is there a space or an address that they could go to, or via appointments?
Right, great question. So we distribute through a partner model, so families won't come directly to our door to receive the items, but on that resource list, we have we serve 3 Loaves and Fishes pantries as well as Catholic Charities, and so those their addresses, open times, and their contact information will all be on that resource sheet too. I'll definitely if you reach out or anybody reaches out, I provide that information for you directly.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, we'll
course.
definitely be reaching out.
Of course.
Greg, I wanted to introduce myself. Hey, Avery. Avery and I actually have lunch next week, so it's good to see what you look like, because we'd have been walking around Community Cafe looking like, Community Matters, trying to figure out who we're supposed to meet. So it's good to see you. But thanks, Greg, for doing this. I am Venitra, the executive director for the Frankie May Foundation, and we provide respite care and other resources for family caregivers. So for those caregivers who are caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's, lung disease, kidney disease, cancer, anything that is chronic and that the caregiver is needing resources for, we are like a one-stop shop. And along with Avery, we provide incontinence supplies for our family caregivers. And we also have a caregiver store, not with just the incontinence supplies, but we have toiletries such as rinse-free body wash, which comes in handy when you're caring for someone with a chronic illness. Rinse-free body wash, sanitizing wipes, sanitizing spray, gloves, mask, anything like that that the family caregivers need. They come to our monthly meetup where we have a resource speaker, we have a catered lunch, and we do a fun activity. And all of this is free for the caregivers. We also provide respite care. So while the caregivers are at the monthly meetup, we pay a home health care agency to have someone sit with the loved one. So the caregiver does not have to worry about trying to find someone to sit with their loved one or pay someone to sit with their loved one. We cover all the expenses for that. And it's just a big family of family caregivers. And so I'm excited working with East Charlotte and, just looking around and seeing some of the other nonprofits here. So I'm excited for 2024.
Me too, Venitra. Me too. So thank you for sharing. All righty. Anybody else?
I'd like to introduce myself to the group. Hi, everybody. I'm Pearlie Thomas, and I'm executive director of Bright Stars. And Bright Stars is a year-round out-of-school time program. We do high-quality after-school and summer camp programs, working with schools, low-performing schools in East Charlotte, helping struggling learners get on grade level above. We specifically try to get struggling learners in our program whose parents can't afford to pay the weekly fee. It's a struggle for them, but yet they're the ones that need to be in the program. So we're always looking for ways to serve them, to fundraise or get grants or whatever to get them in the program because they need to be there. So I'm glad to be a part of this group because I want you to know that we're in the East community. We've been here. We're going into our 7th year. Our location is Greater Bethel AME Zion Church on the plaza. And we're just so thankful that they have given us space at their location. And it's just wonderful. And we're just right in the center of schools that really need our assistance. And the challenge is always trying to figure out how we can get the children in that need to be in. So if you know of anyone that's looking for a high quality, very caring after school and summer camp program, if they can pay, that's fine too. And if any of you have any creative ideas about how we can get funds to serve these children who really need to be served, but don't have the means to do so, I'm certainly open to that. I'm always looking for ways to partner, ways to learn new ideas about how we can promote our vision. So this is my first time attending this meeting, and thank you for putting me on your list. And I hope to come back again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you today. Let me see. I think I had one more thing for y'all. Nope, went through it on my end. Okay. Well, if that is it for everyone. It was great having so many of y'all on the call with us this afternoon. I think this is a record size for us, and want to ensure that we continue it at this level. I am certainly open to any ideas on how to structure things differently, on the potential of doing an in-person meeting at some point, even if it's starting in second quarter, once a quarter. But I know I've kind of liked to do this format very quick, open to everybody forum where folks can just share. But I'm open to ideas as well for how we can maximize this impact and make this a lot more intentional about what's going on in East Charlotte. So thank you all very much. And again, if you have something to send me, please do so by 5, and I will get that communication out to y'all no later than tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a wonderful afternoon.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.